If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
How can I have social anxiety but also be great at socializing? I call myself a shy extrovert. I can deal with people in a friendly way by being cordial. In this sense, I use cordial to mean friend-like, but with a certain distance in the interaction, born out of uncertainness. When I am nervous, my sense of humor, which is already very funny, kicks into high gear. In a business meeting, I can have the whole room in stitches, because I'm nervous, the meeting is boring, and everyone is looking for something to keep them awake. Here are two identical examples of what comes out when I'm feeling threatened because of my anxiety in dealing with other people, particularly from times when I was full of abject terror of others, but I don't think anyone in the situation knew it. About 13 or 14 years ago, I was at the very beginning of a major depressive episode, and the very high-profile group I worked in was having a staff meeting. The director concluded the meeting by asking if anyone had anything else they needed to bring up with the group. I raised my hand, and when he called on me, I said, I just saved 15% by switching to Geico. 18 months later, I was at the very beginning of the end of that depressive episode, and a different group I worked in was having a staff meeting. The director concluded the meeting by asking if anyone had any questions. I raised my hand and asked, why did we ever think Neil Young could sing? I don't know where these things come from. They are a defense mechanism that keeps people at a distance and thinking I am happy-go-lucky. I call it hail fellow, well met, worldwide words, hail fellow, well met. And think of it as my handshaking, backslapping mode. I look great. The fine sign is out, but I'm most definitely not fine. Other people leave a gotten to know tell me they thought I was fine because of the sense of humor. Don't get me wrong, I love being funny, but I do keep many at a distance with that tool. My anxiety is a chemical imbalance. External situations and events can trigger my anxiety, but do not cause it. I'm extremely social, being a performer and musician, but in many situations, I get so anxious I can't function. Cognitive therapy strategies help me some. I use self-talk. I plan out how I will handle the types of social interactions that routinely trigger my anxiety. I make lists when I'm shopping. I tend to go to the same places of business because familiarity helps. I try to refrain from eating things that increase my anxiety, like junk food, especially food with message. I keep my caffeine intake minimal. I accept that sometimes I'm going to be dysfunctionally anxious and practice radical self-compassion. I avoid the company of negative people, and remember my positive social interactions. When it's really bad, I take meds. I am the same way, and I think what it comes down to is comfort. You are uncomfortable with people at first and don't want to start conversation. But if someone else initiates an interesting conversation, then you jump right in. I am the same way. Most of the friends I have now probably confronted me first. I suck at making conversation, and I get so nervous around groups of people, sometimes even ones I know. I have been so anxious about groups of people that I have had breakdowns and stay home. Then there are times when I'm so glad I went out and had conversations.